When we think about British black music, who were the main stars of the day?
So the main stars were Louisa Mark, Janet Kay, Carol Thompson. Lovers Rock was very female orientated at that time, and then you had bands and singers like the Investigators, who went to my school. Kind of rivalry band they were with us, but we were much younger than them. They were older. We made records before them. We were better musicians, better singers. Yes, Lorenzo and Michael. I said it. If you ever hear it, I'm only joking. But yeah, and you had people from mainly Jamaica was big influence. Dennis Brown, Daryl Wilson, Bob Marley was killing it then as well. And but wasn't he was killing it in the black community? He wasn't quite the super mega star, he became. And many, Toots and the Maytals. So, obviously the question was, where the music started, black British music. So I'm researching it as we speak. So, but I would say somewhere around that where the docks were, because that's where a lot of our people came through. So, and influenced, the community with their music. It could be anywhere else, but I mean, in London, I can say that the soul scene sort of was known in the, I'd say 60s. When the Americans used to come in, they stayed here, and a lot of them had bands. People like Gino Washington and these kind of people. So they set the way for and inspired a lot of Londoners. So then you had people like Eddie Grant. Now, Eddie Grant has a tune called Funky Like a Train, and it's a classic fling foot tune we call fling foot, where you dance, express yourself, He was in a band called the Eagles, where he had yellow hair, pink hair, and it was more pop, So he's the chameleon who can change in any genre of music. I so have enough time for that man. He's very inspiration to me. So I reckon somebody like him in the Equals, because he was in the charts on Radio 1 in the 60s. So people like that. But as I said, I'm still researching that.
And there's often a link between Windrush, Calypso, and British black music. Can you tell us a bit more about this?
Oh, well, that's quite obvious, really, because all of the people who were on the Windrush, a lot of them, most of them were from Jamaica. My parents didn't come on the Windrush, though. I mean, can you imagine, like, being on a massive boat like that, and music has to be playing because, those days it's like it took weeks to get to wherever you want to get to, so or even a month, I think. So the music, they came off of that boat. Like, there's a guy, and he has a tune where he says, England is my home. So he was a guy who influenced the whole of the nation because he was on television singing that song and sung and wrote many others in the Calypso style. So he's one of the, he's from Trinidad, I think, or one of the islands. But we're talking about the British black scene, the guys who started it here. Because then, you go down the line from Eddie Grant, you go to people like Joe Cocker. Joe Cocker is a soul artist, rock. People like Labi Siffre was here, even though he's from South Africa. He had a big soul following here. People like Madeleine Bell, again, from America, but made her home here in the 60s and was on telly and did a lot of stuff. Shirley Bassey, we have to count Shirley Bassey because she's from Wales. She of mixed parentage, and she started her career very early on the scene. So she is one of the definitely ones who's one of the first. But as I said to you, I'm not that versed on it, So hopefully in the next couple of weeks I will, because as I said, I'm involved with a project where I need to find this sort of information out. But it's I'm thinking that it's around the 50s it really started, 50s, 60s, Definitely 70s, the 70s we had people like Light of the World, Junior Giscombe, Central Line, Sade.
What would you say, how would you say British black music shaped British culture as a whole?
Well, look where we are. We're in Levi Roots, Caribbean Smokehouse. Levi Roots is an artist as well, as you know. I used to do a lot of stuff with Levi Roots when I was much younger. So that shows you the influence what this our culture from the Caribbean has influenced this country. It's big time, the whole music scene really is based around black music. That's the way I see it, because a lot of the music what's very successful is actually soul orientated. If we go back from the 50s when they were doing big band, and all the big band stuff started in America. I mean, jazz, jive, it's a black music. So this music was massive here. 60s, Motown, 70s, Philly. I can name, all of these decades. They marked, the charts were marked, the music scene was marked with black music, but then done by white artists, because then you have people like Elton John, T-Rex. These people, they learnt from blues, the Stones, the Beatles. It's all blues, and then they put their spin on it, and it becomes a different sound. So the question you asked me, this country is influenced not just the music, but the culture as well. Because where I grew up in Battersea in the 60s, we were the only black family. It was us and 3 other black families in this massive block of flats, massive estate. We had to, we had a lot of racism thrown at us, but it's funny, it was the music what got us together, because the guys who were my age, they understood me, and we became friends. And I was the only black guy, but at Dr. Martens, I thought I was one of them. Well, I was, I didn't see colour, but we listened to the same music. We loved T-Rex, we loved the Israelites, Desmond Dekker. We loved all kinds of music, and we sung it loud on the land. We had really nice acoustics by the stairs, and that's where we used to sing. And we were all happy. And then we go to the discos, youth clubs, music. The music, what my white friends listen to is black music. It's a fact. I mean, they listen to white as well, but the main music, what gets you, is black music.
Okay, thank you so much, Noel. So tell us a bit more about your upcoming projects then.
My up-and-coming projects, right. So this May, I have a solo album coming out. It's my first solo album since 2009. Single as well, single called Love Under Control. So, I'll be doing some promotion for that and be doing some live events. I'll be doing a few launches. Yesterday I was at a club, I performed somewhere, and they asked if I would come there and do the launch. I'll do one in, it's called the West Bank in Portobello Road. So I'll do one there, and I'll just go all over showcasing it, get an agent, try and get an agent, and get out there.